All right, so today's video is going to be on Killian Hayes. Is he on the chopping block as far as a trade candidate or not? Now, Killian Hayes is 21 years old, 6'5", 195 pounds. Obviously, as we know, he's out of France. Now, his career stats, he has played in 168 games, 114 starts. He averages about 26.6 minutes per game, shoots 37.6% from the field, 27.4% from three-point range, 80.3% free throw percentage. He averages 3 rebounds per game, 5.3 assists per game, 1.2 steals per game, 0.4%. I'm sorry, 0.4 blocks per game, 2.2 turnovers per game, 2.7 fouls per game, and 8.4 points per game. Now, again, that is his career stats. And a lot of us, I mean, I get it if he gets traded. Like, I get it. I mean, what we've done already in free agency, a.k.a. the trade market, trading for Monty Williams, or Monty Morris, I'm sorry, trading for Monty Morris, trading for, Joe Harris, we traded for Bojan Bogdanovic, traded for, all these guys. Like, I get it. On why he could be the odd man out. But in his defense, I could also see why he stays. Now, heading into last year, the 2022-2023 NBA season, we all knew this man's going to come off the bench. I mean, with what we had, Ivy, Cade, we knew he's coming off the bench. Now you added Marcus Sasser and Monty Morris, and you're like, well, okay, that could be our backcourt for the second unit now. And things like that. So I could see why we could get rid of him. But then, like I said, in his defense, I could also see why, like, we could keep him. Because we haven't seen him on that second unit. Now, last season, he did have a career year as far as all around the stat lines. Like, his shooting went up, his field goals went up, his points per game went up. Everything kind of went up. Obviously, being a starter, everything had to kind of go up. And, being thrusted into something that he wasn't comfortable, because he wasn't practicing, until Cade went down and things like that. And we started getting all these injuries. Well, now somebody has to step up. So, obviously, he was elevated to the starting lineup, and he kind of went from there. But, I mean, he did well. Like, I don't know if it was to boost his trade value or what, but, there's, again, like, I'm so 50-50 on Killian Hayes. Like, I love this kid. I think, being 21 years old, you ain't even scratched the surface of what you can be. I don't want a situation like how we did with Chris Middleton. I thought we got rid of Chris Middleton way too soon. I thought we got rid of Bruce Brown way too soon. I thought we got rid of Spencer Dinwiddie way too soon. Now, is Killian Hayes going to be a Spencer Dinwiddie or a Bruce Brown? Probably not. But can he be a serviceable second unit guy or, a depth guy? Absolutely. And being 6'5", 195 pounds, just barely scratching the surface of what he could be, I just feel like we kind of got to give this man a chance. He has 1 year left, and then he becomes an unrestricted free agent. I really would want to see him one more year, and then in unrestricted free agency, try and get a deal. And what I mean by a deal, I mean more so for the Pistons. Like, okay, hey, he's serviceable. He could do ABC, miss, D&E, and do F real well, and, you know, and he could be a second unit guy. Where Marcus Sasser is going to do A through F all good, and away he goes. So I really want to see one more year with Killian Hayes. But if a deal that really moves the needle, and I'm talking about okay, we could go get, say, a Tyler Hero out this deal, a Cam Johnson on this deal, and we have to sacrifice the Killian Hayes. I get it. I love you, Killian Hayes, but you got to go because, you upgraded the roster. And if it's a clear-cut upgrade, then okay, I'm good with it. But if we're going to just get rid of him just because, we got this person, we got that person, no. I don't want to do that because of the fact that I'm so afraid now, because that's the Pistons organization since 2008. We get a player and then they kind of are on the cusp of at least being a good player for us, and then we trade them and then they become a superstar for somebody else. It's why can't that be us? Yeah, why can't that be us? So that's why I'm so on the fence with Killian Hayes, because it's I get the business side. Obviously, these are the reasons why I make these videos. I get the business side. And that's why I always tell you guys to not over panic and not call people bums and bust and this, that, the other so much. Because if they're a bust or they're a bum or they're this, they're that, you're not going to get no value for them. So if you want to get rid of them, but you want something back, they can't be a bum, they can't be a bust, they can't be this, that, the other. They got to be at least serviceable. So, I mean, we could say he's serviceable at best. Things of that nature. So, I mean, he got to have some value if you're going to try and trade him in. Killian last year, he hey, I started out the year of, okay, it might be time to get rid of him. And as last year went on and things of that nature, I kind of flipped that script a little bit. Because I was like, he's a great player, this, that, the other. He could be something special for us. It's just going to take him time. And, obviously I got the draft pick correct, so I'm a little biased on it. But then again, I always go back to the business side of everything. So, just because I'm right on a draft pick, I also see the business side. And shout out to the Lions for that, because, hey, I got TJ Hawkinson right, got Jeff Okudah right, I got every single first-round draft pick right since 2019. And two of them are not on the team anymore. So shout out to the Lions. They kind of got me a little bit more okay, you have to look always, as far as the general manager's eyesight and ears and mind, you have to look at the business side. And the business side, hey, I mean, if we're trying to win now and we're trying to get a win now player, aka a Cam Johnson or a Tyler Hero or whoever the case may be, then you're going to have to sacrifice something to get that player. So I get the business side, and I just want to make sure that we do our due diligence with Killian Hayes. I mean, if he just shows, hey, I'm not a starter, I am just a bench player, okay. You got value as a bench player. I just don't want him to be on the cusp of something because he's so young. He's 21 years old. And that's one thing that I want to kind of hit home a lot on, is he's only 21 years old. He is raw, coming from overseas as well. And every time you get an overseas player, they're going to take a little bit more time. I mean, even Nikola Jokic for the Denver Nuggets took a little time. Even Dirk Nowitzki took a little time and things like that. So once you get a player, you got to take your time, especially with international players. I just don't want us to get rid of a 21-year-old that could be something pretty good for us, and we get nothing in return for it, or we get something that is like, okay, really, I just want to make sure that we do our due diligence. And I mean, like I said, he really showed a lot of good last season. I mean, really, go look at his numbers. Go look at his numbers. Don't take my word for it. Just go look at his numbers last year compared to any other year that he's been with us. He stepped up, He stepped up, and, I really hope that he could be something, because he doesn't have to be a scorer for us. That's the thing that gets me with the hatred on Killian, is he doesn't have to be a scorer. Killian, all your job now is to do is give Marcus Sasser the basketball and let him go score 40 points off the bench. I mean, you don't have to be a scorer to be useful. I mean, Ben Wallace wasn't a scorer. Dennis Rodman wasn't a scorer. But what did they do? They did everything else at a high level to set themselves apart. So, I mean, a shot can always come. But the intangibles, you either got the intangibles or you don't. I don't want to sound like Brad Holmes, on a Pistons channel, but, those intangibles matter. Like, especially when you're building rosters. And this is my favorite time of year, is like the off seasons, because of the roster building aspect of it, the draft, the free agencies, trades, and this, that, the other. Like, I love that. I love roster building. So for me, I would say this: keep Killian Hayes, and if either he wants too much or we could get something highly in return, maybe at the trade deadline, maybe move him. If not, maybe we could try to get a team-friendly deal while still obviously increasing his pay, because, I mean, come on now. You can't be ruthless, because other players around the league are going to see that and be like, well, hey, he did this and he only got nickels on the dollar for all this work, and, why would I want to go there? So if you want to attract, free agents and trade players and things like that, you got to treat them good. But I've already talked for 12 minutes, almost 13 minutes, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below with Killian Hayes. Definitely want to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. Hey, be real with me. If you don't like Killian, let me know. Hey, I just don't like Killian, and this is why. If you like him, let me know why. Let me know what you want for Killian. Definitely want to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. With that being said, I will see you in the next video. Go Pistons. Yes, sir. Peace. Hey, Killian Hayes at least deserves one last year. I think he did well this past season, so give him one more year.